Final Testament, Wyatt 6, had every reason in the world to believe this could be something special. A damn good story told. You could go many weeks, several months, if done correctly. If you didn't see Monday Night Raw, what if I told you they already did the match last night? What if I told you Uncle Howdy was pinned? First time ever. What if I told you he was pinned due to baby powder? Supernatural Uncle Howdy, the supernatural Wyatt 6, and their kryptonite is baby powder. Zelina Vega thrown in there to do another deed. They got Gunther out there in jeans so he can be more relatable to the audience, right? Slowly try to transition him into being a face, so he's got jeans on. He is Stone Cold Gunther Austin, what? Oh, there was plenty of what's in his face promo last night. You got Seth Rollins out there dressed like Sully from Monsters University, Monsters Inc. I don't know what Becky is doing having that in her closet, but lock it and don't let Seth in it. But I gotta give props. You gotta give props to Raquel and Rhea in that main event. Anything goes. They laid into one another. They absolutely went full throttle, amplified. That's it. That's your cold open teaser. Amped up show featuring Monday Night Raw 12/8/24. You already know. It's 44 dive time. Let's roll. My unit, salute. As I said, it is indeed 44 dive time. We are indeed rolling. With today's show, we are featuring Raw 12/8/24. Unfortunately for a lot of you guys, I know, I understand. This show was just not good, top to bottom. Just not good. I shouldn't say that. The bottom came to life a little bit, right? Speaking of bottoms, Rhea Ripley. I'm just saying, man. Speaking of bottoms, Rhea Ripley and Raquel, they actually came through. Aside from that, this is some of the worst writing I have seen in a very long time. Like actual writing. Or thinking that any of this is... Again, I kept the cold open short for a reason, right? The opening teaser was short for a reason. You already know by now. It's the red brand. It's Monday Night Raw. I can't even try to sell you that this was a good show. We're going to go over it segment by segment. You guys, if you didn't catch the show, you're going to see what I mean. First and foremost, you already know. Do what you got to do. Smash the up. Help out that algorithm. The tube isn't necessarily huge supporters of BC and the unit because we're a little controversial. We talk about the discussions that not many want to have. I understand the tube has to protect itself. I get it. So you guys can help out. Keep the channel alive and rocking. Smash that up. And all the things down below. Subscriptions, notifications, all the things. So that you guys keep getting content right here on the channel. So I appreciate you guys big time. Members, the utmost of respect. Those are my board of directors, gold card channel members, diamond unit members, and soon my coffee club members. That card is the most prestigious card. There's no Discover, no Capital One, there's no American Express. There's nothing that beats the gold card's coffee card. That is your exclusive VIP into the coffee club. That's coming soon. Actually, it might be. That's 24-month membership, 2 years. That might be this week, no? We'll see. Anyway, channel members. Amplified. Salute. All right, let's get into this Monday Night Raw 12/8/24. Again, this is the feature of today's amped up show, so it is what it is. Real quick, one more thing. That's all. I'm not talking about Juan Soto. and leaving the Yankees for the Mets. I'm not talking about my Green Bay Packers anymore, about that horrible loss to the Lions last Thursday. What I will say is a big thank you, another thank you to everybody that caught that NXT review for Deadline, man. That was Saturday night that event went up. The upload for that review went up Sunday morning. I know NXT is not everybody's cup of coffee. Not a lot of people watch NXT. I get it. But you guys really brought that review to life. You guys really... You kicked ass in that. Because not a lot of people watch NXT, I didn't think anybody would really be into it. But that was a really cool thing to do. I love the style that I went with. It really helped me out. I liked the final presentation when I was doing the final edit. And it looks like you guys really enjoyed it as well. So everybody that caught that last upload, NXT's Deadline review, that was my full throttle in real time. Thoughts, review, and reaction of Deadline. So that was pretty cool. All right, that's all of the fluff out of the way. Just kidding. One more thing. I might be live Saturday night for Saturday night's main event. It's possible. I'm trying to clear out some sketch. And I'm going to try to do this live. Ooh, it's going to be rough. There's a few things I had to do, but we'll see. Keep an eye out. Obviously, subscribe, notified, all that. You guys will know if I am live Saturday for Saturday night's main event. Salute. Let's get this review going. So Gunther and Judgment Day start this show. Every single week, they got Gunther out there looking more and more like a geek, right? More and more just absolutely ridiculous. He's shaking hands with Randy and then Cody, all the top. He'll be shaking hands with John Cena. They have him questioning his confidence, right? Do I even have it anymore? I mean, I have the world championship, but I think I lack confidence now. They have him in there with other heels. They have him out of nowhere slowly turning face. The crowd last week rejecting him. 3 coup de grace and the crowd chanting one more time instead of feeling sympathy, which is what Hunter was going for last week. So much so that they actually had to change the main event, or one of the main events for this Saturday night's main event. I think Owens and Cody will probably be the other one. Whatever they decide to go last. But they decided to change it because it was heel versus... They already have Ludwig versus Braun Breaker, heel versus heel, even though they got Breaker kind of as a tweener as well. And then they had Gunther heel versus Balor heel. And Gunther's being booed out of the building, right? Dominic Mysterio in that match last week was getting more cheers than Gunther. So Hunter was forced last night. Hunter had no choice. This is what I mean. This is how we make a difference, guys. When it's really bad, if we're just honest, eventually it'll have to get through to the company. It's a Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and he changed it, and that's the right call. I'm not a fan of schmaz matches. I'm not too high on Damien Priest in main events right now. He's a good dude. He just doesn't do it for me. But you had to add a face in there, man. You got to give the fans somebody to go, all right, that's kind of who I'm... Now, during the match, if they want to switch off, that's fine. But up front, on paper, you got to put a face in there if you got 2 heels. So they added Damien Priest to the Gunther versus Finn Balor matchup for Saturday. That was out of nowhere, guys, just days before the event. And Hunter's like, oh, shoot, that really backfired last week. Let's put in Damien. That's what happened last night, so let's go over it. Gunther and Judgment Day start the show. As I said, every week they're making Gunther look more and more like a geek. Last night was no different. They got him out there in jeans so he can be more relatable to the audience, right? They want him to look and feel more relatable. So they got him in jeans, like he's an everyday man. He's the dude that could be next to you at the bar and you're talking sports, right? Stone Cold, Gunther Austin, what? You see the Packers get whooped by the Lions? Damn Detroit, sons of bitches. It's Stone Cold Gunther Austin. He's in jeans. He ditched the nice little coat and the suit pants. His Dockers. Anyway, I couldn't help but think, man, are they trying to put this into overdrive or what? He's trying to cut a face promo because he's going at Judgment Day and talking crap about Balor, and he's looking at the audience while he's doing it, right? He's trying to see, like, trying to gauge, right? Hunter's trying to have him gauge. And the crowd is just literally not buying it. Guys, he's getting whatted out of the building. The closest he's getting to Stone Cold territory is just the what chants. Everything Gunther said, what? The crowd whatted him out of the building. The promo then ends with Gunther telling Balor, and I quote, "You're not on my level and you'll never be." How is that a burn? That's the best writing you have? The final line before their matchup Saturday, "You're not on my level and you'll never be." Balor was already at that level, bro, years ago. If booking backed him, he would have lapped you 10 times. So Damien Priest comes out. Damien Priest, just out of nowhere. Damien Priest is out there. He brawls with the Judgment Day, right? Oh my goodness. A Hunter Hearst Helmsley chaotic brawl. What? We haven't seen that since Friday night 7 times. Then Monday Night Raw last week 9 times. That's all Hunter does throughout his show. Chaotic brawl after chaotic brawl after chaotic brawl. And hopefully that entertains you, is his wavelength, right? Just brawls. Everybody, go out there and brawl. So Damien goes out. He's brawling with Judgment Day. At one point, Gunther and Priest are brawling. That's their way to get Priest into the match, right? He doesn't just have beef with Balor. You got to remember, he also has beef with Gunther. So they brawled for a little bit. Then Judgment Day retook Gunther out and then retook Priest out. And if you want to talk about backfiring on Hunter Hearst Helmsley yet again, Damien took 3 coup de grace last night. And the crowd still began to chant one more time. They don't care about this anymore. It's too late for Balor Priest. They broke up months ago. The story was not told properly. That's it. And then Priest moved on. He did the Gunther thing, whatever. That's it. We've already seen Gunther and Priest twice. 2 big events, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. We moved on. It wasn't good enough. You don't know what you're doing with Gunther, so we're confused. What is Gunther? Face, heel? Do we even care anymore? Priest did not have a memorable or meaningful title reign. It's sad. I like Priest, one of the best dudes in the business. It wasn't the time for him to hold the title, and it was awkward booking. So we're past all of this. So the crowd in attendance was chanting for one more time. They wanted the heel in the match, the one that you really can't stand. Even his fellow Judgment Day members kind of can't stand Balor. That's supposed to be the case. But yet again, 2 weeks in a row, we're yelling one more time because we don't care about Gunther taking a whooping. And sure as heck, they don't care about Priest taking a whooping. So much to the fact, go back, you guys can listen for yourselves. They piped in boos over the one more time chants. They had to, because there's only days before the Saturday night's main event. If you're also one more timing the actual face Priest, and you definitely one more time to last week our attempt at getting Gunther to be a face, so you already said no thank you to both, they had to pipe in boos they felt. Boo, Finn Balor. Don't chant one more time. You want Priest. You want to give him your sympathy. That's what happened, guys. That's what makes me amazing at what I do on this channel. That's what makes BC the top of the top, the best of the best. It's because I drop one fact after the other. I'm not interested in my own opinion even. I don't care about my opinion. I don't care about what I like and don't. It's about what happened last night. That's what happened. On this channel, we're not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to BS my audience. That's what happened, man. Priest was one more timed. They piped in boos over the one more time. They felt they had to. There's no way they could have had Balor going into this thing as the main face over Gunther, who they're trying to make a face, and Priest, who they've tried to make a top face for almost 2 years now. Even while he was deep into Judgment Day. I told you, 44 dive time, we were rolling BC fully amped, bro. I done tried to tell you. We ain't playing around in this review. That's what happened. That was your first segment. I put this in my notes. You guys ready for this? Let me get another swig of coffee, because this is exactly what after the first segment, I put this in my notes. I put, what a stupid start. No joke, bro. No joke. I said, what a stupid start. And then the very next segment, I think we may have went to commercial after all of that. I mean, nothing got accomplished. They just needed to throw Priest in there somehow. So for 20 some odd minutes, this is how we fit Priest in there. And they still booed the guy, or at least one more timed him. They wanted a fourth coup de grace. Gunther is freaking passed out on the outside from his attack. You never saw him again, right? Even in his jeans, there's no barroom fight in Gunther. He's probably out there trying to find his confidence, and he got lost, right? He bumped into Veer. Remember Veer? He was trying to find Monday Night Raw for 6 years. They bumped into each other. Which way to go, man? Veer's looking for Raw still. Gunther's looking for his confidence, and Priest is over there getting his ass whooped, and nobody cares. So when we came back from commercial, Adam Pearce announces it is declared, it is confirmed, it'll be a triple threat Saturday. Priest added to the matchup. Priest, Balor, Gunther, and nobody gives a damn. All right, moving on. First matchup of the night. This was Final Test in Miz versus Wyatt 6. Where do you even begin with this? Just last week, I was saying, right, almost an exact quote, right? A paraphrase, but slightly. I was saying, this could be a good story. This could be good. Are we about to give Hunter some big credit here? They're letting them roll with it. Some things are being approved that are actually like catching our interest. A little bit of intrigue, right? Not over the top, but I felt like we're beginning this pretty good. That was just last week. And then it just took 1 week. This week, last night, Hunter's like, we sold him. Give him the match. That's it. That's it. We got him hooked. Let's give him the match now. And I'm sure there's people at the boardroom table that are like, sir, you sure you want to give this away on it just started. We could put this right through Royal Rumble. You sure you want to put this in the main event of a Monday Night Raw? I didn't say anything about a main event. I just said put it on Raw. Sir, you really want this beginning the show? Are you sure? I know that most viewers tune in at the beginning, but you just want. I didn't say anything about the beginning of the show. I didn't say anything about I said put it in the middle of Monday Night Raw. Sir, are you? All right. That's a discussion. Somebody had to have said this is not the way to do this, right? I mean, you have two factions. Neither one of them can lose, by the way. So you set it up long term. You have both picking up W's along the way while the story's being told properly. And around Royal Rumble, it's the big matchup. Either it's big one-on-one, Howdy and Karrion, or you do the multi-man schmaz. And then one of the entities has to lose. I get it. But neither can lose, obviously. Not right now, for sure. So just build this thing up properly. And on top of that, it was starting to get, if not good, decent for most, right? Decent. We were at least going, there's something there. And Hunter Hearst Helmsley just put it in the middle of Monday Night Raw. And that's the payoff. You can try to say, well, BC, there's going to be more matches, obviously. That was just one of many. That's the problem. We don't need to see anything else. What do you need to see? Howdy and Six's revenge now? They're gonna get a W back. It's like watching a best out of 3 Yankee series, right? When you lose that first one, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Yeah, you win the next one, okay. You can win the series, win the next 2. Hopefully that's what happens. But that first matchup, that's it. You lost. So you're gonna try to get the W back. Then what? You're gonna have a rubber match. So is the storyline going to be a bunch of matches like we have seen for years under Vincent Kennedy and we're already seeing with Hunter Hearst? The storyline is just they have a bunch of matches. That's it. You just see them wrestle all the time. Because back in the day, what hooked all of us on pro wrestling was you saw a long build. They never wrestled each other, not once, until the actual pay-per-view where you were so deeply invested. You couldn't wait to give them your money to watch that matchup. That's how it used to be, right? Excitement and intrigue. You were amplified for these matchups. This just happens in the middle of a Raw. And wait till you hear this. Oh, I'm not even done. If you didn't see this show, catch this. Cross pins Howdy. Again, cross pinning anybody right now, I usually will never have a problem with. They need W's. They cannot lose. Just like Howdy. If Howdy pinned Cross, I'd probably be saying the same thing. But the way that this was done is even worse than anything. So Cross pins Howdy thanks to Paul Ellering throwing powder in the eyes of Uncle Howdy. Baby powder is the kryptonite to Uncle Howdy. Now I know, but you see, it wasn't baby powder, man. Well, the thing is, first of all, we don't really know what it was. The point is, it's powder. Powder. Supernatural Wyatt 6. And just think about everything they can do. They can transport, right? They can expecto petroleum. They can pull some wizardry. But powder is what took Uncle Howdy out. And if you're wondering, I may have mentioned this in the cold open teaser. That was his first L pinned. That was the first time he was pinned like that. And they did it in a schmaz match, middle of Raw for no reason, because he got powder in the eyes and then took the, what does Karrion call it? The final prayer finisher, I think he calls it. That's it. That's it. So now for the next 7 days or 7 months, however long if they can decide to continue this. I mean, they dropped Otis and Gable. Remember, that was going to be really good. Everybody was really into the Otis turn. Whenever it happened, it was going to be massive. And then Gable just got pushed by Otis, and that was it. Then they threw Gable into this thing with the Wyatts. And Otis and Gable never had a real badass, fun, intriguing payoff. That's what Hunter does. He doesn't think long-term on many things. He's very short-term. Thank goodness the bloodline is overran by Paul Heyman. Hunter is very short-term. He is not good at long-term storytelling. He's not good. I mean, some things like wrap around, but that's not storytelling. That's just coming back around to it. Oh, look. Remember there's some history here? This is good. We'll call it a storyline. But because it's a microwave society, I guess he feels he has to book that way. You could have took the Wyatt 6 in the Final Testament. You could have brought this in the Rumble, guys. Not into the actual Rumble match, but the Rumble card. Remember Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight a couple years ago. You may not have liked it. That was one of the highest rated segments every week leading up to that match, guys. That storyline was so good. Whether you liked it or not, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But it was good because the numbers told you that. And whether you like the match at the Rumble or not, I think it was like Mountain Dew Lights Out or Mountain Dew Dark match. But no matter what, the storyline was captivating individuals. And from that, LA Knight became a massive superstar. You guys remember it was right after that he really took off and fans were starting to chant his name everywhere. WrestleMania, he wasn't even on, and he was one of the biggest chants. One of the biggest reactions. Wasn't even on the card. I think he was on the SmackDown before that, like a Battle Royal or something stupid. That's it, guys. That's it. That's what I mean. The Rumble, yes, all the focus is on the Rumble match, but if you have matches like this, you can get away with doing some supernatural matchup type stuff, and people are going to give you a pass because we're looking at the Rumble matches. So that could end up being the sleeper. Rumble was the perfect time to have this massive payoff. Instead, you had it last night. And again, if you're trying to say, BC, that wasn't the payoff, they're going to have a bunch of more matchups, the story's going to continue. Well, clearly, I don't think it's going to end with Howdy getting baby powder in his eyes. But it's not going to be as special. We just saw the whole match with all 8 of them. The only difference is now you can throw in Scarlett and maybe Nikki. But we've seen it. We saw Howdy get pinned for the first time. I mean, you can't go any lower than that for the faces. And then the bigger question is, have they completely dropped the ball on Wyatt 6? I don't want to believe that. I'm hoping that's not the case. But, I mean, the enthusiasm, I am starting to see it diminish more and more by the week, day, and segment. Something like you saw last night, that's not going to make more and more people go, damn, this Wyatt 6 is amazing. I feel they dropped the ball from the beginning when they didn't bring in a Matthew Hardy and they didn't bring in an Alexa Bliss. Alexa's waiting. She says she's waiting, man. It's not her call, she said. You could have done a lot. It's called Wyatt 6. How many are there? Are there 5 of them? Aren't they missing one anyway? So you can at least bring in a second female Alexa. Then again, are they booking their first female correctly? Nikki, probably not. I don't know, man. There's just so many. BC's very creative. And I get excited when I think pro wrestling. And I get excited when I think like wrestling angles and storylines and character trajectory. I get excited from this stuff still, just as we did when we were kids. But, you know, when you don't see that same enthusiasm or you just don't see smart writing, yeah, it is frustrating. Absolutely. You know, this isn't writing that I just don't agree with or just don't like. It's just stupid. It's not it's not good. Factually, it doesn't help the wrestlers that are involved. It certainly doesn't help your show. You took a storyline or one that could have had real potential, and you just sabotaged it, because that's what it is. That is, by definition, internal sabotage. You took this thing that was just so hot, the fire was burning beautifully, and all of a sudden you just took a bunch of water, you took a fire hose, and you put the fire out for no reason. And you didn't even grab the fire hose, you took the baby powder and put the fire out. Anyway, that was the first match of the night. I got a little bit something to say about this show last night. Then we cut to a backstage sit-down interview with CM Punk. Sorry, guys, not sorry. I got a lot of coffee. The coffee's really good today, man. BC was ultimate barista status on the Monster 5000 coffee machine, man. That was a pristine coffee, so... I'm trying to nurse it so I don't go through much, because there's still a lot of show left that I have to go through. Not in a good way, by the way. Unfortunately. Like this, the backstage sit-down interview. That's another thing. Right after Uncle Howdy takes his first pin like that, they don't even sit on it to sell any type of story afterwards. What they did was they cut right to CM Punk. Right to CM Punk. And if you blinked, it was over. It's a sit-down interview with Jackie Redmond, most likely cut last week when he was actually in the building. But if you blinked, it was over. He started talking about Seth Rollins a little bit. Nothing over the top. And then it just ended abruptly. Like, I think I literally went to get my coffee that I already had pre-made, but I had to get back to my notes because it was the ending of the Final Testament Wyatt match. And then I just went to get the coffee. And it was over. And I'm like, wait, I didn't hear anything of like, oh, what a finish to that sit-down interview, or anything that was like newsworthy. So that was very odd as well. I don't know what they're doing with Rollins and Punk. It was so hot, man, when Punk first got back. And even the first few months, it was like, okay, good, keep them away until you're going to put them together. And then so much time went by, and they interacted several times since, and it almost got watered down as time went on. And now I don't have that same feeling. I'm trying to, but I don't know what they're doing. And then adding Sami Zayn to Seth Rollins' nonsense is not helping anything. I'll get to that in a minute. That was actually after the next segment. That was the start of number 2, Seth Rollins. But that's the Punk sit-down interview. I'll expand on that when we go over the Rollins promo. But hour number 1 ended with Liv Morgan pinning Dakota Kai via Oblivion pinfall finisher. Post-match, Sonya Deville attacks Kai, Sky Pirates for the save. It was a chaotic brawl from Hunter Hearst Helmsley. When it was all said and done, somehow Liv Morgan was standing tall, so she beat Dakota. We had a chaotic brawl with Sky Pirates and Sonya Deville, and somehow they all beat each other out of the ring. I don't even know where they went. Maybe they all showed mutual respect, hugged each other, hugged it out, and went up to Section 303 to the popcorn stand and had some laughs. I don't know what happened to all of them. I blinked, and Liv Morgan is just smiling, holding her title to the hard cam. This is what I mean about such an oddly booked, poorly written show last night. And then we go to hour number 2. Sethington Rollins. And he's out there dressed like Sully from Monsters University. I mean, like, same exact. I mean, the sleeves and everything. And if Sully is to wear some glasses, that would be it. I mean, that's the first thing I thought of. Like, did they literally? Where does Becky Lynch shop that she would have something like that? And again, lock your closet door, Becky Lynch. Zaman. Because Rollins is honestly now. Rollins is even going after your Sully outfit. So extremely weird, this segment. Sami Zayn comes out. Okay, now mind you, this is a Seth Rollins promo when he's laying into CM Punk. And he's saying some good stuff, right? All the stuff that he said when Punk first came back last year, right? He always knew he was a fraud and this and that. And okay, selling it. And then Samuel Zayn comes out. And I'm thinking, what is Samuel doing out there again, bro? Stop, Samuel, go. There's new triple-layered moose cake at catering. Go eat that. Sammy's becoming like the third wheel to everything like Seth used to be. Or still kind of is. So Samuel comes out. He gives a long explanation as to why he doesn't want Rollins and Punk facing one another. That was the whole guys, we went through 5 minutes of Sami Zayn going, I just don't want you guys fighting, man. You're not the same Seth when you do it. And Punk I just went to war with. I'm up in my feels lately. So he goes through 5 minutes of this. And then it all just ends with him saying, but you know what? I'm just going to stay out of it if that's what you want. So Rollins is like, yeah, thanks, Sami. And then Sami refuses to leave after that. He needs more affirmation, right? He needs more attention. He needs more seeking of approval. So he's like, now what about us, Seth? Are we good? Are we still cool? I'm like, what is this? Like a bad friendship that ended in junior high and you got to know if you still got your friend. Are we still good? And poor Seth is like, what am I doing, man? I'm out here having like a real thing with Punk. I'm trying to, you want to know if we're friends. You want my mutual respect. So he's like, yeah, Sami. And he gives him a nod and they share mutual respect. It's Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So you see a lot of like kumbaya, mutual respect in WWE these days. So that's what you saw, right? Sami needed to know that there was mutual respect between him and Seth. So he got that. And Seth tells him, now, good luck, because I know you got your, I'll do Punk. You got your hands full with Drew McIntyre. Good luck. Say the name Drew McIntyre like a genie. He appears. There he is. Drew McIntyre shows up. He attacks Sami Zayn. So Sami takes a beatdown from Drew. And that's the segment. And I literally put in my notes when it was over, what the ... That's right. I didn't even need to drop an F-bomb in my notes, bro. Just what the ... Like, what the... Because that's exactly how I want to portray it in this upload. What in the world was that? What? We just wasted 10 to 15 minutes, and what got accomplished? Sami is explaining why he doesn't want Rollins and Punk to fight, and then he said, sorry, I'll stay out of it, and then he said, are we still friends? Wow, 10 minutes of World Wrestling Entertainment Raw. And there'll be people that go, this was such a good show. No, it truly wasn't. You liked it, much love and respect. If you like the show, man, again, I can't even rip that. Because on many levels, it would be really cool if I could lower my bar to that stature. If my bar was that low, I'd probably be enjoying pro wrestling nonstop. All of what's being dished out to us from all of these companies. I'd be able to be captivated by all of it. But my bar is much higher. My standards are higher. I know what is good and I know what is not. 15 minutes. Nothing got accomplished. When it was all said and done, Drew beat up Sami again. That's the only thing memorable from this promo, or this 15 minutes of garbage, was Sully Rollins. Monsters University was probably trending after that segment. And then we go into... Oh, no, we're already into hour number 2. What am I saying? So now we just go into hour 2's. The next up was a triple threat women's IC title tourney match. This was Valkyria defeating Ivy Nile and Zelina Vega. Val pins Nile via Nightwing, I believe is what she calls that finisher. I'm not a big fan of that move, by the way. But Val pins Nile via Nightwing, and Zelina stay getting no love. That's exactly how I put it in my notes. Zelina stay getting no love. Zelina is a spitfire. She improved so much from where she began, and I'm talking before WWE. I mean, you have somebody like Zelina in my company, and I got the booking pen. Bro, I'm doing a lot more with Zelina. A lot more than just what they're using Zelina for. Val, we haven't seen in the longest time. Hunter used her really a lot up front for short-term storytelling. And then all of a sudden, right, all those matches with Becky and everything, and booked improperly. That's why she got no response. So then Hunter's like, okay, that's it for now. I'll call you in a couple months and we'll have you pick up some W's and we'll try again. So here she is, right back into another W. This type of booking will not propel Valkyria. You're going to have to get creative at some point. And as far as Ivy Nile, Ivy's got such potential. She's good. She's got the look. She's a little pit bull. I call Zelina a spitfire. You got Ivy Nile, literally a pit bull. This is just weird. It's weird booking. BC, people have to be in matches and lose, man. I get it. Just do it properly. Where's the character development? Zelina's been there for how long? There's no character development. Every once in a while, they throw her a bone. Like, hey, we're in Puerto Rico. Go for the title. Remember that? Who was she facing? Rhea Ripley, was it? I forgot what it was. And then that was it, right? Okay, we're out of Puerto Rico now. Can you just go back to catering? Or, hey, we need you to lose this tag match. Or, hey, just be with the LWO, right? We're trying to link everybody of the same into the same. You go great with LWO. What is LWO these days, by the way? What are they doing? That's what I'm trying to say, man. Get creative, but do it in a way, too, where everybody is winning, right? There's ways to have victory in defeat. And you got to have it a lot more often these days because you don't do enough jobber matches to propel superstars and create the divide. This is a superstar. This is a loser. This is a guy who just loses because this superstar is badass. You don't do that anymore. You just have superstar versus superstar every match, every week. And when you do that, you do 50-50 booking because that superstar is going to be dominant one week and then that same superstar is going to lose the next week. And your crowd can't look at anybody like a legit winner straight out. They don't jump off the screen. They're certainly not larger than life. BC's dropping fact bombs today, brah. BC's dropping it, brah, like it's hot. Mic drop after mic drop. The New Day. This was a good... It just wasn't long enough and there was no substance to this. The New Day comes out and they're collecting massive, Dom heat. Dominic was getting cheered last week in his match over Gunther, so much so that they barely brought him out there last night. I don't even know if he was. So New Day comes out and they're collecting a lot of boos. I do think a lot of that was piped in on second here. It did sound like the same piped in that was in Seg 1, but whatever. They're trying to get them that heel heat. On the level of Dom, but the crowd was behind the boos, and when they piped it in, they got even more into it. So, whatever. I don't like piped in, and Hunter abuses it, but I actually can't stand it. I think it has no place in wrestling, but I like what they're doing with the New Day, so I'm not gonna linger on that issue. But they were collecting that nuclear heat. They tried to get a word in edgewise, dude, what do you boo? We didn't do anything to E. We didn't hit him with a sledgehammer or put him through a table, and the crowd just kept booing. And again, it's one of those things where I blinked. I may have went to start up a new coffee. I don't know, but it was over. They were into a commercial, and I'm like, whoa, how did they end the promo? I really don't even know, guys. I don't know the last words they said. I thought it was going decently, the crowd booing, the piped in boos, whatever, but they're like, honestly conflicted. Like, why are people that, like, and leading up to this, by the way, backstage, everybody they came across wanted nothing to do with them. Even Cody was like, dude, I've known you guys for a while. That was despicable what you did last week. So I like all of that, all the way they played it up. The promo was going good, I thought. I went to go get a coffee, right? I was listening. I thought I was anyway. It came, and it was just gone. Maybe they just left the ring, felt disrespected. I'm guessing that's how it ended. But, yeah, it was very weird. There could have been a lot more substance to it. But, or it could have just been, hey, BC, maybe you shouldn't have gotten a coffee at that moment, bro. Because they walked out in grand fashion, pissed off. I guess you're right. I gotta pick my coffee making spots a little bit better. And then we went into the main event, Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez, anything goes match. These ladies laid into one another. This was actually good. Up front, I don't really care about Raquel or Rhea. If they want to push them, that's totally fine. They both have good fan bases, much love and respect. So I'm totally fine with it. Just because I don't per se support to another level superstars doesn't mean that I don't see value and I don't see that they get a good reaction or they don't have good bases. So I'm totally cool with Rhea getting her push and even Raquel. They just don't do it for me to that next level. Hopefully that does change. But they went out there last night, and if it is going to change, the start is by doing what they did last night. That totally gains BC's respect. They went out there and they put on a good main event. A couple of botches, but easily forgettable. I mean, they were big, but because they rocked it out in every other area, checked off every other box, easily willing to just forget about the botches. When I say big, it was like the chair in the middle of the ring, and Rhea is about to plant Raquel's face into it, but they totally miss the chair, and they just go into the canvas, and you could see Raquel tell her something, so Rhea has to grab a chair and just hit her with the chair instead. So there was things like that, but for the most part, the physicality, the amplification, everything was clicking, and it just... Maybe it's because the show just was not good at all last night, that it was a welcomed sight. Like it was the first time in the night, the 2 hours, that I actually was able to get invested into a match. So props to Rhea and Raquel. I may not be the biggest of supporters, but if they're going to put on performances like that, I might be in the future. The finish to this, Morgan interferes, Iyo Sky evens the numbers. Iyo hits the ring extra caffeinated. I mean, she was just bouncing. She was bouncing every which way, man. I mean, she looked like the old school gymnast, like a Tiffany Stratton or a Kalani Jordan. She's bouncing all over. She did a suicide dive, and I literally thought she was going to land on her head, through the commentary table and on her head. Thankfully, she was able to just hit Morgan and maybe get her hands out first. But that's how I put it in my notes. An extra caffeinated Iyo Sky. She evens the odds, takes out Morgan. This leaves just Raquel and Rhea middle of the ring. Riptide through a table. Rhea defeats Raquel via pinfall 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Iyo and Rhea stare at one another while each hold one end of the championship. So Morgan's championship is middle of the ring. Rhea and Iyo are holding that, like kind of grabbing it. So interesting. It's kind of like, who does get it? Who is Iyo and Liv at Saturday night's main event, I want to say. But a lot of people do believe Rhea's going to be the one to end up with it. I don't know. I didn't mind this, to be honest. Is this worthy of a finish to a show? Right before Saturday night's main event in a hot way to end the year as we're getting closer to? No. This is a good segment middle of the show. If you want to start it off with this first matchup of the night and that's the finish of that first match, I'm cool with that. But because the show just was not good, like at all, I didn't mind anything that happened for the finish of the show. I was just like, you know what? At least if I was to have the good, bad, and ugly, at least this goes into the good. And that's it, man. That is your full throttle amplified review of Monday Night Raw 12/8/24. Much love and respect to everybody that can handle this amplification, that just sits back with your bevies, Sit back, max, relax while BC drops the facts. You know, you don't have to agree with everything I'm saying, but hopefully you guys enjoy it, are captivated by it, entertained by it. Hopefully it's good food for thought, discussion. And if you don't like a lot of what I'm saying, I hope you at least know it's all truth. I don't even blame you for not liking a lot of what needs to be said, because it sucks. We want it to be different. But I hope you at least know, like, it's all coming from the most purest of factual information that we got last night. Like, this is what actually happened last night. And then I take under consideration, what does it do for character trajectory, character development? What does it do for the show's evolution? What does it do for the company in totality? And what does it do for the fans, for their entertainment and what captivates us? And unfortunately, that interest and intrigue is about at a 5 tops. Most of the time at a 3 or a 4. That's what I got. I told you I was amped up today, bruh. I'm going to down this one. I'm going to go get a Dunkin' Extra Extra and then a Hazelnut 3 Pump double shot latte. Double fist that. And we going to rock out. You already know. Until next time. And there will be that next time. 44 dive time. Check it. That's a wrap.